Quitting Zepbound, quitting WEGOVY, quitting Ozempic, quitting Mounjaro. Hi, friends. We're in for a doozy today. I got a lot of information from you with a new study that just came out from Reuters. I'm going to link it down in the description link below. Super important if you're taking a GLP-1 medication, you need to know about this study and how that's going to affect you for your journey if you're a type 2 diabetic or if you're on for chronic obesity management. If we don't know each other, friends, hi, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have been on GLP-1 medication the last 18 months. Best year and a half of my life, having lost over 90 pounds on this journey. Started off with Mounjaro because of the Mounjaro shortage, onto Zepbound because of the Zepbound shortage, onto compound tirzepatide. I'm going to dive into this study. As always, I require myself to be factually accurate, and so therefore I cite all of my sources. It's linked down in the description link below. Click that More button, and that's going to show you all of the resources I'm talking about, my sources that I'm citing. Yes, they're all there. Just keep clicking that More button, because this is a doozy. This is a doozy that just came out from Reuters. And I think it's really important that if you're taking a GLP-1 medication, that if you're thinking about taking a GLP-1 medication, that you have and arm yourself with this information. You're gonna want to stay till the end because I've got something fun for you. So stay till the end. You're gonna, for my OGs here, you're gonna want to stay till that end point. Today, it's related to Miss Dolly Parton. Totally not GLP-1 related, but something fun. You guys always know I've got cool tricks up my sleeve. And my chair is creaking. It's not me tooting. People keep commenting, oh, you're tooting. I'm not tooting. I have GLP-1 side effects, but it's not toots. It's my chair is quaky. I need to get a new chair. Let's dive in. Okay, so there's this new study out that says only 1 in 4 patients prescribed Novo Nordisk, that's the manufacturer of Ozempic and WEGOVY. Only 1 in 4 patients prescribed Novo Nordisk, WEGOVY, and Ozempic for weight loss were still taking the popular medications 2 years later. Yo, when I read that story, like, I had to pick up my jaw off the floor. I don't know about you if that was jarring to you as it was to me, but that was jarring. I mean, like, that means 75% of people quit taking WEGOVY or Ozempic. Now, we know Ozempic is FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. WEGOVY is FDA approved for chronic obesity management. In this particular study, they're relating it not to diabetes. It's not for diabetics. But we know that Ozempic is technically supposed to be prescribed, but it is prescribed off-label frequently for chronic obesity management. So this analysis does not include details as to why patients quit. My 3 things, and we'll talk more about this as we go through, but side effects, money, and the supply chain shortage has been bonker doodles. And so with that, the evidence as to why people stop using weight loss therapies not after starting are influencing debates of patients, their employers, and government healthcare plans. We've seen that North Carolina government stopped covering GLP-1 medications for people with, like, there's a lot to unpack with this. And the cost point of, I'm holding up Zepbound, but this article is relating back to, and the study's relating back to WEGOVY or Ozempic, but it's similar, I'm sure, very similar, I'm sure, that they cost about $1,000 a month out of pocket. Now, if you're using the savings cards for Mounjaro and Zepbound, it's less than that, but still, I mean, this is crazy. So going over to the cost effectiveness, there was Prime Therapeutics and I'm going to butcher this, but it's Magdalene RX Management. And throughout this article, it refers to it as Prime, is a pharmacy benefits manager, reviewed pharmacy and medical claims for 3,364 people with commercial health plans covering GLP-1 medications. This is fascinating to me, by the way. So it had people with prescriptions between January and December of 2021, and the diagnosis of obesity and body mass index of 30 or higher. So their BMI is 30 or higher. The PMD, which is that excluded patients using the drug for type 2 diabetes for which these medicines were originally developed. The mean age for patients were 46.5 years old and 80% were ladies. Can I get the ladies? Okay, so out of this is where it gets crazy. I have drawn a pizza pie for you because it does relate back to pizza or dessert for me with chronic obesity management treatment. It still relates back to the food. This is where I found fascinating. So let me pull up my data on here. Is that WEGOVY, 24.2% of the patients persisted over the therapy for 2 years without a gap of 60 days or more, down from 36% who stayed on the drug for the full year. Ozempic, which has the same active ingredients as Wegovy, it's semaglutide, is 22% of patients kept filling their prescriptions at 2 years, and down from 47.1% who had used it at the 1-year mark. So meaning that people with type 2 diabetes with that were filling their prescriptions more, but still a big decline. And I've been here on YouTube, was one of the OGs talking about GLP-1 medications. I've done over 300 videos the last 1.5 years of my life talking about this. I'm super passionate, which is why I have a free group. And why I think that this conversation is so important, one of the reasons why I've stayed on this medication so long is my excellent healthcare provider, which is Join Fridays. And that's one of my questions for this study that it goes through. Is that people, it says in this component, it goes through that at 2-year mark for people taking Wegovy, it was after 2 years, 15% of people at the 2-year mark. And that in 1-year mark, 32% of people taking Wegovy. That blows my mind, which begs the question to me as to why, and if you're watching this video, will you be on this medication in 2 years? Why is there 85% of people are no longer taking the GLP-1 medication within this study? Now, Novo Nordisk is going to combat that, and we're going to talk about this too, as to why they don't think that this study is relevant, but I really do. I think one of the biggest things of why I've been successful is working with Join Fridays, and I'm obsessed with them because they prescribe both brand names, meaning Wegovy, Zepbound for chronic obesity management. They're the leading experts, in my humble opinion, for chronic obesity management. But they also prescribe compounds. So during this shortage, which was one of the 3 reasons when we go back to the beginning as to why people stopped taking GLP-1 medications, was shortage issues, supply chain issues. I have been easily able to pivot and navigate without missing a beat on my prescriptions over to compound. Do I like the compound? Yes, I do. I'm taking it. And so I like that I have that swing, so to speak, very easily with that. Now, I'm on the highest level of prescription, Zepbound 15 milligrams, which would be different if you're titrating up. You're going to have, it's different, similar but different. Because there's nowhere else for me to go until more GLP-1 medications at higher doses come out. And so with this, one of the reasons why in this study it's talking about is side effects is one of the reasons. And for that, I don't think that there's, a lot of people don't have enough support for side effects. And I've seen it firsthand with a dear friend of mine. I'm like, you need to join Fridays. She's with a healthcare provider. She's having horrific vomiting from it. And I don't know if it's GLP-1 related. She started GLP-1, but I have no idea of her medical conditions as to why. But I'm like, why are you not talking with your healthcare provider? You know how fast I would be on chat with and getting an appointment with Join Fridays if I was like right away. I think having that support super, super important for people 85% who are not taking it later on. And then the also component of that is Join Fridays has coaching available, group coaching available, a dietitian weekly call, sometimes 2 a week, with a dietitian on a group call to change and make these permanent lifestyle changes. Because I do think that the part of this is we have to, Eli Lilly, the manufacturer of Mounjaro and Zepbound, and Novo Nordisk, the manufacturer of Wegovy and Ozempic, tell us we have to make permanent lifestyle changes with physical activity and with our food. How do we do that? I don't know. That's why I go to an expert to tell me to. And so with Join Fridays, I had been paying quite a bit of money to work with a dietitian. And so now having a GLP-1 dietitian that I can go on these group calls with, there's also activities that you can do. There's an activity app that you can use as well. There's all this free stuff that's included in the monthly membership. You can use the discount code QUEEN, Q-U-E-E-N, and I will link down below in the description here on YouTube. You're going to need to click that button. Oops. That's me in my shorts, raving about how I get to wear shorts. You need to click that more button, that hyperlink, and that's gonna have the direct link there for you. Use the discount code QUEEN to get an extra 25% off with it. But within this study, I think that it's paramount to glean why people stop taking these medications. For me, I immediately thought, what can I take from the study and apply from my own GLP-1 medication journey to use so I don't get off this medication? Because for me, I have no intentions. I mean, I predict, we'll see with the information I have to date, that I will be on a GLP-1 medication some form for the rest of my life. Maintenance for me would include taking, maybe I'm not taking a shot every week. As we get more technology related to this, maybe then I do maintenance every other week, or I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me with this, but I do know that is my intention as of the information I have right now, particularly having lost 90 pounds. and having been in a state of where I couldn't lose weight, or I'd gained it all back over the course of my entire life, and then now being able to consistently lose over the last 18 months, I mean, it's like day and night. It's crazy, 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 crazy. So going over here, Novo Nordisk, people who are on, going back to the study, people who are on Saxenda, do you want to guess how many people, which is another GLP-1 medication from Novo Nordisk, do you want to guess how many people stayed on Saxenda after 2 years? 7 only, 7.4% from the study. Now, Novo Nordisk, let me pull up this article because I want to make sure that they get their fair speaking point along this too. Novo Nordisk, in a statement, cited several limitations to this analysis. It noted that WEGOVY wasn't launched until June 2021, and so this study was from January 2021 to December 2021. So Novo Nordisk didn't come out till January 2021, which means the launching of it and getting all the medications, it was in the middle of the study period and wasn't immediately covered by insurance, right? So that's obviously going to affect these. And Ozempic isn't approved for weight loss. It can affect people's coverage and persistence of therapy, the Danish drug maker said, which are a great counterpoint to the study. The company says it does not believe these data that is not properly saying, does not believe these data are sufficient to draw conclusions about overall patient adherence and persistence to various GLP-1 medications, including our treatments. And that was from Novo Nordisk. The newer GLP-1 and clinical trials help people lose more than 15% of their body weight by suppressing appetite and promoting a feeling of fullness. They're being tested of a host of other benefits too. WEGOVY in March won US approval for reducing the risk of strokes and heart attacks in overweight and obese adults. Sidebar, you can see that episode talking all about that I did down in the playlist down below. So the analysis did not track long-term use of Eli Lilly's Mounjaro and Zepbound, which launched after the study's starting point, and Eli Lilly declined to chit-chat about overall findings. They said, no, boo, we're not commenting. No comment. The Prime/MRX did not ask patients why the prescriptions stopped. And which we go through, and we can make hunches on that too. We've talked extensively here at the Countess of Shopping community as to why people would get off these medications. If you're having blowout diarrhea for a pocket, why would you want to continue with that, right? Well, if you're having that, that's why I think that having this conversation with a reputable healthcare provider is so important. I've worked with them for a long time and they've been absolutely exceptional. Highly recommend. My experience has been wonderful. My compound experience has been wonderful. My brand name experience has been wonderful. And being able to do it from my home, not having to drive somewhere. I had, when I first started GLP-1 medication with my primary care doctor, was having to drive over the Appalachian Mountains and all this stuff. And even doing with Join Fridays, even doing my blood work, because if your primary care doctor or your healthcare provider providing this is not having you do blood labs, red flag, red flag, red flag. Join Fridays has made me do that. It's really, really easy. I can just go to Quest Diagnostics, do my blood work, bada bing. It's very, very simple. Very simple to do that. So I think that that's important, of that you continue ongoing. We inspect what we expect, right? And so ongoing care with that. And now with my membership with Join Fridays, I love that I have access to body movement changes and with food, that they have coaching established with that, which is so helpful. They also do have some mental health things too. I haven't, to be full candidness, I haven't really engaged in those, but the other ones I have, and I'm super stoked about it. So, and that is included in my membership fee. Heck yeah. And to be able to do this from home, not have to drive anywhere, to be able to access this all online. You can do video chat, or you can do async, which is after you're on the prescription for a certain period of time, then you can just do async, which I am, because I've been on the same dose for forever now. Not for forever, but for a while now. It's at Zepbound 15 milligrams. So this study, there's some flaws in it, but I think the overall component that we need to take with this is, oh, this was the other part, is 26% of patients switched GLP-1 medication during therapy. 26% of patients. So I think that's really interesting too. And I know that many of you guys are switching as a result of insurance changes. And, if your employer is no longer covering under your insurance plan certain things, but they're covering others, it makes sense. I'll do myself for as a prime example. I pay out of pocket and have been the last year and a half. It's pricey. And we've financially had to do other things. I've talked about extensively about this, of paying out of pocket for it. My insurance does cover WEGOVY. Now we know that WEGOVY is slightly less data than Zepbound. Slightly less. It's still great, but slightly less. And I wanted to have the best possible results, which is why I'm on a tirzepatide. So, but my insurance does cover it. And the other part to that too is WEGOVY has been on the shortage. Just like Zepbound and Mounjaro, like that's on a short. So I'm like, why would I want to go from one shortage to the next? It just doesn't make sense when I know that what I'm doing is working, right? It's been, for me, this has been huge and life-changing. And every day I'm so incredibly grateful that GLP-1 medication has changed my life so substantially. But I am a bit scared for the future with this, though, of knowing that 85% of these people in 2 years are no longer on it. And I do also notice, being here on the last year and a half, and my own personal observation, is many beautiful people come on and watch all of my beginning videos of Zepbound 2.5 milligrams and Zepbound 5 milligrams and beginning doses and things like that. And then they're off. Or my free group, they're out. And I'm like, is it me? Do I have BO? Do I smell? Am I stinky? Is that why you stopped communicating? I think a lot of people just stopped taking the medication. Like they've tapered off, which, by the way, don't just stop taking your medication. Don't do that. Talk to your healthcare provider on that. Talk to Join Fridays on that as a patient. Use the discount code QUEEN. But 15% after 2 years, like that small piece of this pizza pie or your delicious pecan pie or whatever you want to make this circle pie graph chart, 1 year and then 2 years. Now I'm curious what happens at the 3-year mark of that, right? Then where do we go to? I haven't hit 2-year mark. I'm at 18 months. And I could see why someone would stop. I could see why someone would stop. I'm not going to, though. But if the financial burden and all of this rigmarole with shortage, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like that friend who's so fabulous, but is also very demanding. It's been very demanding recently of the finances of this, side effects of this, and the shortage, having to go to all these different pharmacies to get name brand. And again, the study was for Ozempic and WEGOVY, and you see the flaws in the study too, right? Like I think that's important to talk about the flaws of this study, but you can still apply it to Mounjaro and Zepbound and things like that. And as we navigate forward, I'm filming this in the summer of 2024. If you're watching this video 6 months from now, a year from now, there will be changes on this. There'll be more things to help GLP-1 medication patients. That's just what's happening. A year and a half ago when I started, people, for example, didn't talk about Mounjaro fatigue. I kept Googling it. Oh, I didn't mean to hit my mic. I kept Googling it. I thought it was the only whack job out there that I was like, why am I so tired? Well, now it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about Mounjaro fatigue and Zepbound fatigue, that you get tired. You can get tired if you're not eating as many calories. For me, my body's like, oh my gosh, you're not eating as many calories. That's energy. Calories are energy. No wonder I'm tired. The GLP-1 medication, it's contributing to that tiredness. So things like that, that's a prime example of how more information has come out even in the last 6 months. Even in a quarter, in the last 3 months, a lot of information has come out. So as we continue to advance with the technology, a lot of stuff is going to change. And so I think that's important to stay on top of these, which is why you need to click that like and subscribe button. And if you haven't switched to Join Fridays, I would really encourage you, from my experience, strength, and hope, to use the discount code QUEEN. You can go to the description link down below to help you. Now, I said at the beginning of the video I wanted to talk about Ms. Dolly Parton. I have been so excited talking about food changes. For my Dolly Parton cast iron skillet, I am completely obsessed. I had to show you guys. If you're a I wouldn't be a Southern woman. I'm in Virginia, but I didn't have a cast iron skillet. But look at it. I bought this, by the way, with my own money. Lodge doesn't know me from a hole in a wall, but I was so excited. It's a 10 and 1/4 inch skillet. I'm so excited to use her. Ms. Dolly came. My husband said, what in the world did you buy? I said, she is beautiful, and I'm really excited to cook with her. So now I'm trying to figure out, I got to season her. You got to season your cast iron skillets. I got to season her. What I'm going to cook in there. I don't know. So you guys tell me down below, what should the Dolly Parton cast iron skillet, what should I cook? What should be the first thing I cooked? Should I cook a hamburger on her face? A pancake? Some eggs? I don't know. The world's our oyster. Should I cook oysters on her face? I don't know. Your question of the day today is, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And your emoji for today is going to be a frying pan skillet. A frying pan skillet. That's my bat signal. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to hear from you. I want to know you because I truly do care. So that's like our easy way for us to flash up the bat signal that you've made it this far is the frying pan skillet. Or you could just write skillet if you're not in your emojis. And then 2, I will also pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. Make sure you go down below to get all of my free resources, side effects tracker, meal plans. I mean, I got so much free stuff on countessofshopping.com. Excuse me. That's one of my side effects is I do get acid reflux, and that is from Zepbound too. It's not me like barfing almost. And every video I'm like, don't worry, I'm not gonna throw up. Just me looking like I am. It's like one of those cats with a fur ball, like, okay. Sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Me and my Dolly Parton skillet are gonna skip to Malou down to my kitchen and go start to cooking. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Make it a powerful day. Bye guys.